We have had multiple leaks on PS5 Pro recently and the mid-gen console seems all but confirmed. However, developers are not sure about the device's future in the gaming landscape. This is also from the same game industry podcast we talked about in the previous video, where Chris Drink, head of the publication, gave some insights into stuff he heard during GDC, including the future of Xbox. Drink also indicated that developers feel skeptical about the PS5 Pro contributing significantly to the gaming market, as they have yet to take advantage of the current hardware. It's a sentiment shared by some fans as well, who feel this generation is not groundbreaking, with most of the games being cross-generation given it started around the pandemic when hardware was difficult to come by. Besides, you can add that exclusives are now jumping ship to other platforms or PCs, making any purchase questionable. So if no game has truly taken advantage of the hardware, why is Sony making this jump? They have been rumored to want to have a PS5 Pro to be out by the time Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, which probably could be one of the few to take advantage of a mid-gen console, besides future first-party projects. Do you agree with these developers that find a PS5 Pro unnecessary, or are you looking forward to it? Sound off in the comments. Welcome to i4Games, here are more gaming news that you need to know. Sony is introducing community game help as a way to improve the current help feature that shipped with the PS5 at launch, allowing PlayStation Plus users to get tips on the games they play. Players will now be able to contribute their clips by enabling the participation option under community help in the captures and broadcast settings on the PS5, besides setting a monthly capture limit. With the option turned on, the PS5 will automatically capture and upload a video upon completing an activity, then it gets reviewed by a moderator, and if approved, the video will be published in the help section of the game for others to watch. Only raw footage of the game will be uploaded with no webcam or additional voice audio, and videos can also be managed and removed from the PS5 setting. Users looking for help can access these hints as in the past by going to the game help card in the PS5 interface inside the game, or the PlayStation app under each game tile. The only difference is that the help section will now be available for all players without the need for PS Plus when community help launches. The feature will be enabled for select games later this year, with Sony expanding it to as many titles as possible in the future. It's a neat feature, but given they have to provide support for more games, it will remain to be seen if this is something that catches on or gets forgotten, hopefully the former. What do you think about this new PS5 feature? Let us know in the comments. Moving on, there are more details on Judas, the upcoming game from Bioshock creator Ken Levine, after he provided a limited preview to media including Geoff Keighley and IGN during GDC last week. They were able to play for about 5 to 6 hours a game defined as a first-person narrative-driven shooter that, from a moment-to-moment gameplay perspective, will feel familiar to Bioshock fans. You have a gun in your right hand and various organic powers on your left hand. In terms of the story, it takes place on a city ship called the Mayflower, whose crew is on a mission to save what's left of humanity by traveling from Earth to a new planet called Proxima Centauri. The ship is controlled by 3 leaders. Tom is the head of security and wants the mission to stay on course. Nefertiti is a Nobel Prize-winning doctor looking to create a robot civilization so there are no human flaws. And Hope, who lives with an existential crisis and wants you to delete her. They were previously a family, with Tom and Nefertiti having been married, and Hope was their adoptive daughter. You play as Judas, a woman aboard the ship that has been reprinted, the term for being revived. Then you can interact with any of the leaders running the ship, but helping one may piss another, to the point that they may interfere with your mission and help or hurt you. With that, there's a lot of choice in what Levine calls narrative Legos, where the story is shaped around the player depending on their decisions and gameplay, with the goal that no 2 playthroughs are the same. It also includes some roguelite elements, so when you die you can change and improve yourself, change your tool chest and the Mayflower itself, besides also being pseudo-procedural, where all these sub-elements from a level or dialogue take shape depending on your decisions. Even gameplay is reactive, where you can go stealth and terrify other enemies, or the leaders can interfere and tell your location if you don't have their favor. Overall, it's a pretty ambitious game that Ken Levine has here, and hoping he can show more soon as the game is scheduled for a 2025 launch window. What do you think of Ken Levine's next game? Post your thoughts in the comments. Now let's talk about Remedy, as the developer has provided more details on their upcoming games, including more story info on their first live service title in the Control universe, codenamed Condor. Condor is said to have over $27 million in funding, and will start full production for PS5, Xbox and PC later this year. The game takes place after the His invasion causes the lockdown of the oldest house, with the FBC needing to take a stand and regain control. Players will go on a collective journey into the depths of the oldest house, facing overwhelming enemies and obstacles while trying to survive. It will be a live service game with a fixed price rather than being free to play, as Remedy wants it to be a premium game with a lower initial price point, but with a long tail through updates, game expansions and potentially microtransactions. Other Remedy projects include the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes, which are in the production readiness stage, and are being funded by Rockstar with a similar development budget as Alan Wake 2. Are you looking forward to Condor or the Max Payne remakes from Remedy? Share with us in the comments. Next, there's even more speculation on Xbox's multi-platform strategy after boss Phil Spencer had an interview with Polygon during last week's GDC, and that's on top of what was covered in the previous video from GameIndustry.biz. According to Spencer, the console market is not growing, and the price of components is not coming down as fast as in previous generations, which makes it hard to subsidize the business, and it is worse when you consider gamers are going after other options such as PCs and handhelds. So an answer to that and removing the walls that create frictions for creators and players is to open up that model, and in part it means scrapping exclusivity on more and more Xbox games. If I want to play on a gaming PC, then I feel like I'm more on a continuous part of a gaming ecosystem as a whole, as opposed to on console my gaming is kind of sharded, based on this different closed ecosystem that I have to play across. We have also heard this from former PlayStation boss Sean Layden, and despite Sony doing great with PS5, the market overall counting all brands never gets past 250 million users, and with costs for making games going up, an exclusive game meant an Achilles heel. Now Xbox is in an even dire situation than Sony, as the Xbox Series family has not taken off given they don't put as much priority on the hardware, so it will make less and less sense for them to hold on to exclusives. It happens on PlayStation to a point, with the brand looking to expand exclusives to PC, despite being multi-million sellers on PS5, as they look to improve profits from this project. We'll have to wait and see what the future holds for exclusives. What do you think? Sound off in the comments. Now time for a round of quick-fire gaming news. Rumors were going around that Pedro Pascal had finished filming The Last of Us Season 2 after production had just started in February and is scheduled to run until August. This sparked fan speculation that the events from the game would play very similar in the series, which I'm not going to talk about to avoid spoilers. However, HBO has confirmed via IGN that these rumors are not accurate, and the actor still has some filming left to do, but that doesn't deny the fate of the character in the series could still be the same as the game. According to leaker Daniel RPK on Twitter, the season is now expected to premiere in March or April 2025. We should learn more about the PS Plus monthly games for April later today, but it appears one of the premium classics for next month has leaked already. Gematsu found out via PlayStation deals the listing for PS1 classic Star Wars Rebels Assault 2 The Hidden Empire, releasing on PS4 and PS5 on April 16. Sony should announce the catalog games for next month on Wednesday, April 10, with the games available for download on Tuesday, April 16, so the leak is 100% accurate. There's an update on the Marvel FPS game we covered in the previous video, as Marvel Games has announced they will officially reveal the title today at 8 AM Pacific, 11 AM Eastern. A new report from Forbes says the game is an Overwatch-style hero shooter, but is in third person rather than first, with a AAA budget and developed by NetEase for PC, mobile and console. Racing Series Asphalt is debuting on consoles with Asphalt Legends Unite, which is an expansion and rebranding of Asphalt 9 Legends, which has been out on mobile and Switch since 2018. The series was previously on PlayStation, with the last being Asphalt Injection for PS Vita. It promises you will be able to join forces with other players to speed through intense arcade races and perform jaw-dropping stunts as you charge toward victory. Asphalt Legends Unite will launch on July 17 for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, PC, iOS and Android, supporting cross-platform. Call of Duty Warzone Season 3 is getting the popular Rebirth Island map that debuted with the launch of Warzone 2. While the layout for the map is the same, it has received changes to some locations beside new underwater tunnels for stealth. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare weapons will also be featured as part of Season 3 as it launches on April 3rd. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below, give this video a thumbs up or down to let me know your feedback. Check out more content you may like as well, such as Cory Barlog teasing his next game, and subscribe for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and I'll see you on the next one.